Fertilizers this morning. And fertilizer is basically food for the plant so that you will have healthy plant growth and development, so that you will have your desired outcome, your desired output of vegetables that you want to eat or to sell, to save our money, as we were told the last time. Fertilizers basically to the plant is like we have vitamins. We have all kinds of vitamins, vitamin B, vitamin A. The fertilizers are used to enhance the plant. And the plants, as we are told, tell you when they need the fertilizer. When you are feeling weak in your body, you know that you need some enhancement, you need some vitamins. The plant reacts the same way. Now the fertilizers like soil used to condition the soil. And we have natural fertilizers, which may be like the dung, that the animal dung, the sheep, the cow. And we have synthetic fertilizers that are man-made, but all of them have basic components that are used for the development of the plant. Now we have basic fertilizers. The fertilizers has names. Nitrogen, different types of fertilizers. Come on, let me go with this slide. Organic, inorganic, soluble, and insoluble. The organic will be the dung. The inorganic, the ones that are made. Soluble means that they can be easily dissolved, and the ones that are insoluble, they cannot be easily dissolved. Now, we have some over here that you can view, right? I don't want to cross. Organic fertilizers come from the animal and contains certain compounds like carbon for the development of the growth. Example would be some like urea, and these are fertilizers that you can view in your horticultural stores or your agricultural stores. The advantage of the organic, as you can see, they release slowly to the plant, and they add organic components, and we will give you a copy of these things. I'm just trying to compact it, but we will give you a copy of it. The disadvantage of the organic is hard to get. It's not sterile. The dung may not be sterile, and the nutritional value may disappear quickly. Low in nutritional value. The inorganic, which are the ones that are made, comes from sources other than animals, and they're made chemically, and some of them tend to last in the soil much longer. They are made in the desired ratio. They're made in the desired ratio. No organic matter. Possible chemical buildup in the growing media. That's one of the disadvantages of inorganic. Soluble fertilizers, they dissolve in water and are applied as a liquid. Or we have something called fertigation. It can be a tank that we can use, that we dissolve the fertilizer, place it into the tank, and it is absorbed through certain design media so that the plant, it can be passed through to the plant. Now, when you see fertilizers, you will most often see numbers on them. Like we have 20 here, we have 10, and we have 20. The first number is depicted by, it's called nitrogen. Phosphorus is depicted by the P, and potassium by the K. composition of organic fertilizers. As you can see, we have the same numbers here in the ratio. We have cow manure here, you see 0.7, 0.2, and 0.5. This ratio is just telling you the amount of fertilizer in the ratio that depicts the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium. Composition of nitrogen. Nitrogen is required in the greatest amount for plant growth to control the growth. The normal range is in tissues and, but this is not important so much important for us. The basic thing about nitrogen is that it helps us to develop leaves, to develop, come on, go back. Right. So nitrogen, when you see the N, is required the greatest amount for plant growth. And when you see the P, deficiency in this nitrogen, deficiency in this nitrogen, the most common deficiency, growth shows that. Let me add this. Sorry about this. I'm going to have let Romeo present this because I didn't really look over it as I should, so I am not presenting as I would like to. So I let Romeo present, and if anything, I will fill in the presentation. Yeah, I didn't look over it as well.
Just to continue in terms of the nitrogen is responsible for what we call the growth of the greening of the plant. Okay, when there is a lack of nitrogen, what you will see is a yellowing in the leaves. Instead of the leaves looking green, they will look yellow, or what people may call pale. Also, you will notice that there is no vegetative growth in the plant, meaning there is no new leaves coming or new flushes. Also, you will see the plant looking sturdy, not growing. So you're giving it water, you're giving it everything you think, but it's not growing. The next slide will show what the leaf will look like. And if you look at the leaf, instead of seeing that green leaf, you will see a yellowing of the leaf. Right? And this signifies that the plant is lacking nitrogen, which is very important. Okay, so as Don said before, the plant will tell you what is lacking. And this sign is lacking nitrogen. Here in this slide, you can see at the bottom, the leaves are looking yellow, right? So you will know that it's lacking nitrogen. Also, the new leaves, what we call the flushes, right? When the plant, you the new leaves on a tree, and you see that new leaf looking yellow, that will also indication that the plant is lacking nitrogen. The next slide. Phosphorus, which is the P in NPK, it is responsible for the energy transfer of the plant, and it also, which is most important, helps in root development. So if you want good rooting, you have to apply phosphorus, right? And also it helps in what we call crop maturity. So when your crop, tomatoes or sweet pepper, when your crop is forming, then you need more phosphorus to help develop the crop. So it helps in root development, it helps in photosynthesis, where the energy is extracted from the sun through the leaves. So phosphorus is important for that. All right. Again, the signs, I just want to go to the next picture and see the signs. If you notice carefully, the leaves will turn purple. Excuse me, we may have a color blind, but it look purple to me. Some people may say a dark brown or something, right? But it's purple. And when your leaves are turning purple, then you know it's lacking phosphorus. Right? Another thing, because, and this is a typical corn leaf, I notice a healthy leaf at the top and a lack of phosphorus or shortage of phosphorus at the bottom. So the leaves actually return color when you're lacking certain nutrients. Okay, the last one is K, which is potassium. Okay, the letter K, which speaks about potassium. And what potassium does, as what Don said, it gives that plant that energy. It helps transfer the nutrients through the plant from the top to the bottom, and it gives a vigor. So when you may think the plant is not growing properly, it may need just potassium. What is important? It also helps the plant to build up resistance against disease and in fact for insects. Okay, so a healthier plant will survive drought or survive the disease. Unhealthy plants wouldn't. And in terms of potassium, this is what a leaf will look like if it's lacking potassium. It will have dark brown spots in the leaf, right? And sometimes, this is a bean leaf, sorry, this is a bean leaf, and the leaf may even wilter or turn, right? So that is when it is lacking potassium. Here is in tomatoes, it's not as dark, but you can see the leaf actually turning here, or what we call the wilting. That is when it's lacking potassium. Okay? This slide, I'm not going to go through everything, but we'll leave this copies of this slide with you. And what this slide just emphasizes, for every lack of nutrients for the leaf, you'll see it in the leaves of the plant. For example, this one is iron. When it's lacking iron, the leaf turns yellow, but in the stems of the leaf, they remain green. So you've got a yellowing of the leaf, but in green stems. And copper, and I like to point out iron, which is very important. Right? So for everything that the tree is lacking, it will demonstrate it in the leaves. So we just have to look at the leaves of the plant and it will tell us what is what. I'm just going to show some just examples. This is what we will consider the granulate fertilizer, where you apply it to the soil. Right? You apply it to the soil. Then we talk about the value. So this value is 12, 12, 17, 2. So we have 12 nitrogen, 12 phosphorus, and 17 potassium. And the 2 is 1, 2, not magnesium, right? So this is what we call the granulate fertilizer. This example we have here, this is the soluble one. When you put it in water, and you dissolve it, and then you apply it to the plant or to the soil. Right? So this one you can actually mix with water. But this one is, you can finish?
No, that is a soluble, that is a soluble, I think that is soluble ammonia.
Sulfur ammonia.
Which is nitrogen.
Nitrogen, right?
But the whole thing about the solubles is that, the idea about them is that they dissolve easily. They dissolve easily. They dissolve easily. The granular fertilizers stay in the soil longer. And what we want to say too is that they don't all only come in granular form, you can have them in liquid form, right? And there are various manufacturers. Your whole idea is to look at the ratio. And as Romeo said, if you want, if you are growing a crop that's leafy, like lettuce, cabbage, that cause a lot of nitrogen, because nitrogen is for basically most leaf production, then you will choose that first number should be the biggest of those three numbers. If you are growing a vegetable that is root, let's say potatoes, then your second number should be your biggest number when you look at the fertilizer ratio on the bag or on the bottle. Right? If you are at the stage where you want to produce a lot of fruits, it's beginning to fruit, blossoms, then that last number, you will apply that at the stage of the plant. If as the plant becomes mature and you place in a lot of the end, the first number, then you would stimulate the plant to send out more leaves. But at that time of maturity, you want the plant to bear. So that last number has to be the biggest number. So that's how we reason it out. And you look at those numbers. Okay, so how often, this one, so how often would you use this? Yes.
Depending on the crop, you should fertilize at least 3 times. Right? One at transplanting or young stage. The second one, let's say if it's tomatoes, you can then fertilize again when you see the blossoms at the second stage. And the third stage is actually getting fruit. You want that crop to continue to grow. So at least 3 times, right, for crops like that.
At transplanting, which we will do today, for the P, which is the number in the middle, you will choose a fertilizer that the number is a large number, and most time if it is granular, we place it into the hole before we plant. Because that fertilizer does not move easily for the plant to access it, so it has to be placed where the roots will be. No, he doesn't have any. Yes.
I just want to answer the question.
Yes.
Okay, and this is another fertilizer. I say they come in different forms. This is the powder one. And this is a quick rooting fertilizer. Quick rooting fertilizer. And this value is 1248.8. 1248.8. So again, you need that amount for the rooting. So in terms of 48, it gives you that higher value. So fertilizers come in different values, in different forms, and we use the word, right? But they all have the importance. Just remember your numbering system. Question?
Wait. Oh, sorry. Wait, hold a minute. Sorry, you're back. Oh, this one. Okay, so you mix this with the soil before we actually mix it with the water. Before you plant, right?
Alright, this is what we call a foliar feed. So you can actually spray on the plant.
Spray on.
Spray on. This one is a foliar feed.
Before? We spray on the plant.
On the plant.
Yeah.
And it absorbs through the leaves.
Alright, and then if you get the oat slide on his.
I need to make sure I understand. With this green one, is it that I have to wait on my plant to sprout up before I spray? Or can I put it in the soil before anything sprouts?
Okay, 2 things. You can put it in the soil to have developing roots. Let's see how the seedling, right? So you can put it in the soil or the hole to help root development. Or after the plant have germinated or the seed germinate, you see the leaf, you can apply it at a further speed. Get a spray can, mix it to the desired amount, and just spray, absorb through the leaf of the plant.
So for the foliar feed, it would normally tell you how much per gallon.
Yeah.
So you have to pay attention to that, because if you place more than it's recommended, it can burn the leaves. So it may tell you 2 tablespoons a gallon, and that is the rate that you use whether you're drenching it, which is that you're placing it into the soil, or whether you're placing it onto the leaves.
Do you have a question?
The one in the plastic, one in the, right, you feel like that. This, when you mix it in the water, we don't spray on the leaves, no? This goes on the mold.
You will only place the fertilizer on the leaves if it is what we call a foliar. Foliar means a foliar feed.
So what? Leaf is what?
Leaf.
Leave it again.
Foliar.
You said it meant what?
Foliar is the same word to mean leaves.
Oh.
So when you go to the your agriculture shop, most of the time, some of them sell one called 20. So equal ratio of both the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potash. But you have to mix them according to the rate, and you will spread that onto the leaf. So you just basically can ask them for a foliar feed or a leaf fertilizer because they are different brands. And like I said, your main thing when you're asking for your fertilizers is to look at those numbers because that will tell you, you will apply it according to the stage of your plant.
So would this be a good thing for the lettuce?
Yes.
Yeah, 20.
Definitely.
More questions?
This carries expiration dates.
Yes, but it's not. We just offer it.
Question about that.
Not a question.
Just
Wait, hold on a minute.
That's a follow-up question. The storage of the fertilizer is important, not to store it in a hot place. So once it's stored properly in our bag, we throw the basket.
If it's not in
Too hot or like that. Somebody else?
Yeah, we have a question. I'm trying to remember.
Oh.
Okay, my brother tried to set a garden at home, at our home. And sometimes there's a struggle with people. Sometimes you say maybe it's taking too long and the process seems to be pretty slow. Is there something that you can use for quick growth, or does it depend on the crop that you use planting?
Yeah. What?
Is it beans? They could also try some sweet potato. But I'm not sure what else. He did try some thyme. And there's another one that's taken really long to grow. I can't remember what it is. I think it may be sweet pepper, but I'm not sure.
You keep the two problems.
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, it could be two problems. One, it could be the soil. If the soil is not fertile enough, or even too cloudy. The second thing, it could be just fertilizer. Not applying the right fertilizer at the right time.
The one that we saw last month, I can't remember what one, and he used that particular one. Yeah, and he also uses like crates that use the eggs. The crates that the eggs come in, he uses that as well to plant things in. And so he uses the egg containers to really, but that has been slow in coming, whatever he's growing in there.
So I would think it's a fertilizer, but what we could do, give us our contact, we could visit him, and we could look at it.
Well, it's not me, my brother. Just
Okay. Okay. So let's continue with fertilizer and yes. Again. Okay. It is one of the most important components of farming is your fertilizing, right? Many people don't believe in fertilizing. If you use organic or inorganic fertilizer, you have to fertilize the plots because the soil only has certain amount of nutrients in it, and your plant needs extra nitrogen or extra something to help the plant. Okay, here we're going to show you how to fertilize. Right? One method we call a band, and this is with the granite fertilizer.
What?
Band, B-A-N-D.
B-A-N-D?
Yeah, band. Where you place the fertilizer around the plant. Band. So what we normally recommend, with a stick, you could just go in the soil, right? And you put the fertilizer in that hole with the stick form, and then you cover the fertilizer. Right? And of course, it's always best to water or irrigate right after. Right? In the case where you have like lettuce or chive, where it's in a line, you could put, instead of a band, you draw one line down the bed, probably both sides, and then you place your fertilizer in that line, or we call linear now, and you cover it, so that the plants there will extract the fertilizer from both sides. Right? So one is a band, and one is a line method. Okay, next slide.
Right. The fertilizers can burn. So the stage of growth that your plant is will determine how much fertilizer you place in the plant. So for a very young plant, you give it a little bit.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, for those who have trees, could be a lime tree, mango tree, whatever the case may be, there's something what we call in agriculture called a canopy. And what that basically is where your leaves end on the tree.
So repeat that again.
A canopy is where your leaves end on the tree. So right around here. So when you're fertilizing the tree, don't put the fertilizer at the trunk. No. You put it around where the leaves end. Right? Because when there's rain, the water will hit the leaves and drop at that, what we call the canopy, and it's there you will find the roots of the tree coming out here. You will find the roots of the tree. Okay? So, a good average is 1 pound of fertilizer for every year of the tree. 1 pound of fertilizer for every year of the tree.
Yes, please.
So if your tree is 2 years old, it needs 2 pounds of fertilizer a year. If your tree is 5 years old, it needs 5 pounds of fertilizer a year. But you could split that application in 2 or 3 times. Right? But just remember 1 pound of fertilizer for every year of the age of the tree. Everybody understand that? 1 pound of fertilizer for every year of the age. And you place it around. You see people still putting it at the trunk, at the base, it won't be absorbed. Okay. This just explains the way that fertilizer must be dissolved and reach the plant roots, and the method used for nutrient advantage of the plant, and method used should be practical, effective, and cost efficient. Which meaning, whichever method you choose to fertilize your trees with will be cost efficient for you and effective. Okay, for example, if you have a mango tree, I won't recommend foliar feed.
Which one's that?
Right? Because you have to apply them to the leaves, and you can't reach the leaves, well, not good to the mango tree if it's a big one. So we use probably the granite one, you should apply to the soil. So that's why they say that the method should be effective and cost efficient. There are various ways that you can fertilize. That's it. Okay, that's it. So that's it on fertilizer. And we're going to go outside and have a practical session. We will be transplanting seedlings and what we see making the beds and using terms to prepare the plant seedlings. Any final questions?
Right, we have some vegetable seedlings. We have tomatoes.
Okay, we have
Tomatoes, we have cucumbers, we have butternut squash, we have Chinese cabbage, and all of them, the roots, to develop the plant, you have different requirements for the roots, different space that you have to get for the roots. And you can research it and you will see that the tomatoes, you need at least 2 feet to plant tomatoes 2 feet apart. So when we are going to choose our grow boxes or to make our grow boxes, we have to take into consideration the spacing of the plant. We have the desired space. So today we have the desired space here, right? We have the desired space that we can plant our lettuce, we can plant our tomatoes and all of the other vegetables that we have here.
okay. So when we are planting, are we going to put like names on papers and just so that we know exactly what we're planting?
We should label our stuff. Right? We have some soil and we also have compost mix or potting mix. And if you have soil that don't have good nutrients, we can enhance it by mixing the soil with the potting mix. So we can do that now. We can build up our soil planting area.
Yeah. Really compost.
Need some strong hands,
So you want what you want them to do?
right? So we want you to mix your soil with your compost to enhance the soil.
Okay, so somebody's going to show up.
Yeah.
Right. So
And here, this one is the compost.
That is the compost mix.
Another compost along. Yeah, you pack a mix.
that's
See everything in the same
Yeah,
bag.
yeah. So you get another bag.
If we had soil that was not nutritious,
Oh,
you can always mix the compost.
and compost is broken down, leaves, green material.
Having your nitrogen
so
from the
you don't
leaves
want
that
them
are
to-
decomposed.
Yeah, yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
let them
Oh, the next one we can show them too.
Okay.
So we're just going to add now and pick more spirit. Yeah, pick more. Then we're going to mix it together. Hold.
We spread it around. Are they coming to help?
Mix it.
Yes.
Mix it in
So
first.
mix it in first. We actually not want to plant this grass. We want to cover it completely. You have to cover this completely. So that's already. Need to put in some more.
Don't put some in the grass.
Oops, all in the put it out. We're gonna place. We're gonna cover all of those leaves.
Okay, sure you
Put another one. Another one. Compost.
You have 7. You have, they bought 7
I
bags.
put half of that. Half. Four might be
3 more over here.
Okay.
You want another bag of these? Full bag, right? Full bag?
We're just building the drawbacks. Okay.
Give it enough bet.
Give it enough back. Give it enough debt for the entire plan. Which okay, we are going to vet it. We have to vet it.
Alright, just hold on a second. When they're finished, so I can't look at it.
Yeah. We want to show that we have different types of containers. This is also a container. So we can place some mixture into this. Some of the soil mix from here into this. Some people use that to grow
You want them to put them in there,
Yeah.
or so where's that actually going to go?
Where are we going to place that? Okay, where you want to place that?
So
Want to place it here?
one of these.
You can place it here. You can place it here, look. We can place it here. Because later we can always...
Do you pour it or do you take it over hand?
You can try it. Just to fill that. That's right. You can try it. You can try
Put it here, put it more. And then you put it in.
No, try it. Don't just try it. When they're ready, then they can put some rocks around it or blocks around it. Because we don't have the blocks now. Right? So as long as we enclose it, it will become a container as well. As long as the soil is enclosed. Alright. So we're making it the width that will be able to contain the plant. Don't touch the weight, I don't that much. Put it this way. If you want to remove that, storms and everything, you know, you're actually making a bed.
This one is sheet, you know? Brown sheet, you know?
Try that out.
Yeah, you don't know what I mean. And then you add this to it, and then you add that.
Give it to Suana.
Got these bricks here, but you don't have a big garden bed, but you want to plant something in there. So you want to show them that, you know, we can utilize our space. So you can tell them, okay, yeah. You will come back here often?
No, so you have to say.
They're not doing that? They don't go to school? They don't do So we got to get somebody coming back. Because somebody has to come back and care for these.
Alright, they will sort that out. They will sort that out. Yeah, that's already.
I'm sorry I had that. Don't put it so flat because you got to put it so that with the tomatoes. So that's why when you put this raw on the bottom. That's nice. Just get some raw. What's the Chinese cabbage? And tomatoes and casserole.
Is better ready?
Yeah, I think so.
No?
Give me ready?
Yes.
Yeah, finished.
You already touch it a little bit and you touch now. You do nothing.
So we're wetting it now.
Okay. Can they?
Somebody who wanna.
Yeah.
This is to ensure that the moisture goes down, so that when we plant, the moisture will be inside.
We can do some blocks here. So look.
So you're gonna do that now?
Yeah.
So let him come and do that.
It's not really good to plant if it's not moving. If you put it hard, it will soak it.
I want you to mix down here. Come on. You see the spinach? If you come in here. That's the class with fertilizer. And this pale yellow or pale green compared to this one. This one is lacking nitrogen. This one is turns up the color. This one is good. This one is lacking nitrogen. Okay. So what we're going to do is transplant seed.
Don't hold it too much down, right? Because your head's going to be in the interpreting.
You're gonna.
Transplant seed.
Which one you want? This one?
Okay. Anything in there?
Give me a scoop, bro. Thanks for everything. Put fertilizer in the hole. Then we're going to transplant 1 teaspoon of fertilizer. And then we're going to transplant. So this fertilizer is a hat to root development.
Wait a minute. Can you see that? Your hand, what's in your hand? Right. Okay. Right. Another part.
Looking very good.
Yeah, to be honest, these are not very healthy seedlings. Order carefully. Just going to chop it in the hole, allowing the leaf to stand up. Protecting the center. So don't press on the center. Okay?
So they're gonna do it now? Perfect. They're gonna get fertilizer. Little.
Very good. We're going to do two more.
No, we're not going to do one of these.
Alvin is doing mine right.
Yeah.
Measure.
And then I'm gonna hit this little baby.
You don't want no touching it, right? You see what I mean? She's separating good.
Thank you. Joanna is on a roll. Yes, yes.
That's nice.
Very nice.
Wow.
I suck.
I want to put tomatoes in it.
Oh. That means it's all good. You see that?
Right. Come here. In front, yeah, not Alvin.
You want me? You want me to come pull it here? Put it here. Put it here.
Oh, yeah, you gotta move across a bit, yeah. Here's my food.
So Bonnie, so we're actually going to fill this container. Okay. This area is the container.
Okay.
That is barricade. So
I said that already.
okay. So you can take this in. So we're going to put this in here.
So we're gonna use log now.
Yeah.
goes down at the bottom, becomes wet, you know the water has gone to the,
So then you hold out the bottom there.
as somebody said, when you see the water run to the bottom, you know we have gone to the bottom, and the whole soil has been, wet enough that over the weekend that the things wouldn't die. Yeah. Yeah. This is it. That's the whole thing about backyard farming.
You know, it saves money and it's free.
You have because you don't have space. It's all about looking around you and use what you have. So when they coming back? Who came to this last children? Bunny?
Who's supposed to not share? But it's gonna probably be me.
Yeah, we gotta get going right. Yeah. We gotta bring these plants to fruition. Yeah, we're gonna decorate the place. Things like that. Oh, cool. So, okay. Tomato. One part. For the next part. I think it's sweet enough. You don't need to. But if you want to. We're going to try to place a tomato as deep as possible.
Okay.
Because what actually happens, the deeper you place it, the deeper you place a seedling like this, all along the stem, you will get roots. So the plant will develop into a healthier plant. So as deep as possible.
Want to cover it anymore? Or not?
Later on, if you want to, you can come and put some more soil. That is fine. Wouldn't hurt. Right? So we can plant some more tomatoes over there. We can plant okra over there. At the end, we can plant
Okay, so in our final demonstration to show how to mix, to here for your container. We have compost and we have sheep manure, dried pure sheep manure, right? And we do a ratio of half and half. We mix it together and then we're going to place it in a container to plant some herbs. Okay, so you can help me mix. It should mix properly. Give it for later.
Next time it came, that washed everybody.
Give them 2 each.
So, open hand. Yeah, ready. No. Open hand. So it's either ready or ready. No, line up. Finish it just exactly how you would say finish. Finish.
And that's all that going on. Yeah, that's one.
You want to put another one?